why it is important, and how you will do the research. So there are two things you need to remember, no? There are things you need to write it, and the things you need to present. So uh, in our department, usually we present it initially to our mentor. Then they will approve what research proposals you are going to present to the entire department body. So usually you have to make a written proposal to your mentor, and your mentor will criticize it, and will see what are the things that needed in your proposal. Then after the mentor will approve it, then you will present it to the department. Usually you will just present the usual manner of presenting of a research. So it's the most important, no, in a research is to look for tools that you don't need a permission, or you can uh, ano ito? The important things in the research is you have validated tools. If you don't have a validated tools, it will be much difficult things, no? You have to make your own tools, so it will have so we can say it will take times to be approved with your own tools. But there are some shortcuts, like taking ideas from other tools and making it part of your tools. So it's still, you still have to validate it for understanding when you are going to do especially survey or interview questioning. So this is how you present. First, you present the proposal to the department. Then you propose to the technical writing. Once approved by the department, so the next step is the working technical group of the Zamboanga City Medical Center. So their main purpose is to check mga structural, how the research proponent are made, mga things that needed like calculations, critiques about mga introduction, the number of literature needed. So that's the work of the technical group. And even they can suggest changing of uh, intervention. Once approved from the technical group, you go to the ethical board review. So here, they will check on the ethical issues that might arise from your research, like using a live mouse when you're doing a RCT or quasi-experimental type that involves living. So they have to check all the procedures that agrees with the ethical code of the PMA of the research. So this is the how the technical board review will look like when you are approved already. So they will give you a technical review clearance. So once you have the technical board review, so you have to do all the revisions that are recommended by the technical board review before passing it to the ethical board review. So sometimes the ethical board review become also a technical board review because they are the last group of individuals who will approve your research to be go lighted, or you can start. Once the ethical review board is approved, you can go. So this is the ethical board review notification. So here again, they will put what are the minor revision, major revisions, or totally scrap the entire research. So kung scrap, you go back again to technical review or to the department, then back again. So to be approved again. So ibig sabihin, your research has ethical issues. So the common format, no? The any format, any research, you always have this 5 format: the cover page, the introduction, literature review, research designs, and the reference list. So, syempre, wala ba ito na din? Wala. So, the cover page, natural yung title by itself. Introduction, so, nandyan, why do you like this study? Why are you going to do this study? Is there no one did the study? So, ano yung gusto mo? Why is the reason? Bakit itong reason you need to study na wala na ba itong study done by other individual? What is different from your study, from the last study? So you put it into introduction. Literature review is a review of the same researches that ano ang nakaidoon sa introduction mo. So anong mga researches has been done. And research designs, this is the method. Dito yung sinasabi natin, yung tools are the most integral part of your research design. If you're doing survey, or if you're doing case study, hindi naman kailangan ng tools, no? Kahit experimental studies still need tools kasi siya yung how will you record your result from it. So reference list, in my previous study, at least 30 reference list should be listed in your proposal. So what is used for and why it is important? So it is used to establish whether there is a expertise to support your proposed area of research. It forms part of the assessment of your application, and the research proposal will submit as part of your application. It's just a starting point. As your ideas evolve, your proposal research is likely to change. So hindi ibig sabihin, ito yung proposal in the department. So you have to make changes yan as you go to technical and ethical board review. So even your intervention might change. There are two things, no, why we do a research proposal, kasi it is part of the graduation requirement for the training and the diplomate requirement. Tapos yung isa, you're looking for funding from an institution. If kasi your research is expensive to fund by yourself. Usually, research proposal for funding are from the are asked for DOH at DOH and DOST level. Yun lang dalawang government group that are where we apply for funding. So in other places like the America, the private institution, private industry, we can ask for funding from them. So these are the aims of your research proposal. No? So what is the relevance? What is the context of your research? How will you approach? It is feasible. This is the four components needed for your purpose when you're doing a proposal. So others, no, it depends on your department how long will research proposal be, no? If you're writing it, it should be about 2,000 to 3,500 words or 4 to 7 pages long. In our department, you just submit up to the methodology. So you don't need to make a long introduction, no? So these are what is included in your research proposal. No, the important is the purpose of the research proposal. So what is your purpose? So you already know, no, the entire kanina that you need a title page, an introduction, data review, research, implication and contribution to knowledge, yung significance of the study. So ang additional dito is the research schedule, your budget, and your revision and proofreading. Kailan mo siya gagawin. So the title should be clear. So the moment anyone who read, they know what is the research. For example, this is my research. Ito rin yung ang format for the Zamboanga City Medical. So what is the this is the characteristic of title, no? A good title predicts the content of the research, as you noted. It should be interesting to the reader. It reflects the tone of writing, and it contains the important keywords in your research. So, for example, no, 50 years is long enough. Seems like hindi natin maintindihan kung bakit ano ba tong 50 years long enough. So ito yung something you understand better. So ito yung revision ng 50 years long enough. So the lab and the relationship with the C processor, an interview study. So kompleto yung kanya sa isang word. So another thing, variability or parsing the presence of lexical macros and conditional compilation. So you shorten it para interesting kasi medyo boring basahin. So like the super C, parsing all of the C by taming the processor. Ito yung some titles in a book, nilagay nila. Should I teach my child programming at age of 3? Parang boring talaga rin. So abstract and table of contents. So if your proposal is very long, you might also include an abstract, no? And a table of contents to help the reader navigate the documents. So the first part of the proposal, when where your mentor will going to read, is the introduction. Introduce the topic, what's the background, and what is the problem. So yeah, so introduction is where we put the objective, the specific objective of the studies also. So according to the one seminar I attended about introduction, so the first paragraph and the first 3 lines must have already introduced what is the rest of your topic. So this is the guide, no, for how will you write your introduction. So part of the introduction is the background of the study. This is the example from my research. So I started it for the first 2 lines, at the first paragraph pala to. It's composed of 3 sentences. The difficulty of predicting the end of life of being is one reason we need to plan ahead. That end of life care can help one to live well, if possible, until she dies and to die with dignity. It is the right to express one's wishes about where to receive care and where to die. So parang masyado siya mahaba. So one thing I make this mistake, no. So dapat kasi to ay diretso na ako sa end of life care and anong kulang about the study of end of life of care. For literature review, This is where you're familiar with the most important research on your topic. A strong literature review convinces the reader that your project has a solid foundation. So my evidence base, in short, also shows that you're not simply repeating what other people have already done or said. If you're repeating, at least you have a reason why you are repeating the same. Some cited like mga genetic profile, different areas, difference between rural and urban. So you have to cite in your literature review. These are the reference that you have found out, and kung ano yung kulang sa literature review that will convince your reader are already found in your introductions. So here are other aims of the literature review, no? Compare and contrast, be critical, and how your research fits in. How will you build on, challenge, or synthesize the work of others? So this is the research designs and method. So syempre the important, what is your research type? So it is qualitative or quantitative. Is it descriptive, correlational, or experimental? Sources. Who is your participant in the study? How will you collect the data? So the research method, what are the tools? How did you get the tools? How you created the tools? So we have to explain it vividly, how you arrive from a tools, how the evaluation of the tools. For example, you're doing a point system. What is the reason? Bakit 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Hindi lang ibig sabihin mo, one half, he gets the score. Hindi yung pwede. Dapat you have to dedicate. So what is the meaning of 0? So see, what is the meaning of 5? Kung yung in between, what is the meaning, ilang percent ng nakuha ng ng the first participant. So for example, sa knowledge survey. The reason why they are dapat vividly, no? Kasi our research should be duplicated by other researchers. Yun. Even sa peer review, they also wanted that itong reproducibility of a research. So practicalities, this is the yung time of how long will you collect the data, no? Like the cohort study ng Framingham, it takes them 10 years to 30 years. So medyo yung mga researchers sa Framingham naging namatay na. So other new investigator pumalit sa kanila. Pero those investigators na pumalit are still part of the team, knows what is the data they are collecting. So, the significance, no? Why did you, saan ba talaga ang studies? So, usual reply natin is for the additional data on knowledge about so and so, no? So, hindi lang yung dapat, no? You have to explain ano yung impact. If you find out eto, so ano really, what does it do to the world of science, to the world, for the world, ano improvement your study is all about, anong gap of knowledge that need to be explained. Which theory, scientific theory, proven or is false. So when you're doing a bibliography, no, our institution mayroon yata standard on how to write the bibliography or the reference list, no? So, research schedule, no? Ito yung mga things you should include in your research phase, no? Ito example lang to ng how they do the research schedule. Kasi, as you can see, ito is still sa writing pa niya, no? Budget is important, no? If you're doing a proposal for funding. So, what is your cost? What is the justification? Bakit for if you already purchased it, you need to have some justification for the things you buy. Sources, saan mo kinuha yung pricing ng isang, for example, one ream of bond paper. So, alam nila. So, kung wala ka namang alam, you can use the market price, estimated. Pwede mo din sabihin, it's just an estimated price. So, here, you also include, no, if you're going to travel, materials needed sa research mo, if you need research assistance, you also include it, no? So, 5 years ago, no, ang kwan nila, no, if you want to hire a research assistance, so the maximum allowable pay for a research assistant is 6,000 per month. Nalimutan ko sa researcher kung how much siya. So most likely nasa 10 yata ang researcher lang. So if you would like to include your compensation, no? So may standard nilagay yung DOST kung how much lang ang kailangan i-pay for your service. So, syempre, you also compute it kung how long will the research take. So, yun yung total budget. So, syempre, you also include in your time yung revision and proofreading kasi hindi naman lahat ay perfect. You still let it proofread. After you do so many revision, you let proofreading to a more for me ko so pina-proofread ko sa mga research expert yung researchers ko para hindi lang naman kailangan yung grammar, no? Sometimes some mga methods, processes na hindi mo nalagay, they can advise you what are lacking of your research. So again, this is the title of my research, no? Okay. So eto, no? So next is how you do an oral presentation for funding. So according to the training which I attend, no, you need only 4 slides for an oral proposal to DOH or DOST, no. The first slide will be your title. So your title should be eye-catching already, no. So ganyan yung ito yung how I present it to them, no. Walang ibang picture, yung title lang nakalagay in the center. So naka-parenthesis yung end of life care preference. Kasi ito yung eye-catching. So pag tingin nila, ano tong end of life care preference? So the continuation of the fund is how I do the method and where sino yung mga sample ko and where will I do the research. So ito yung introduction. So sometimes you don't need to put the review of literature kung pwede ka magsabi ng review. If you can mention it, there's no problem, no? So I start, bakit importante siya. So this is where we are now. How you explain, no? I think the three important things yung first paragraph ng introduction. So everyone dies. So there are some missing link between when you're going to die and you're still on the dying process. Kasi in between of this is the end of life care. So these are the end of life care service, the CPR, the intubation tube, NGT insertion, IV fluids, and medications. So these end of life care are costly for a patient. Na if you're going to do it, it is futile to her survival, to his or her survival. So in order to minimize expenses, pain in case of decision making, these are the options I like it to you to do. No? Hindi pala. Ito yung where the place a patient wanted to die. So they would like to die in hospital, they would like to die at home, or they would like to die at the hospice house. So standard directive is an important method here to establish ang preference ng patient when she's on the deathbed. This is a timetable I prepared for. So started on October, the protocol preparation, the revision is on November. So the technical board also on November, protocol revision, which is suggested, then the into implementation, recruitment data collections, and data analysis, and manuscript preparation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So a year of preparation. So this is the budget, how I computed for my fund. So you also explain it to the fund. This is the budget. So 6,000 per month. So ilang months mo siya isusweldo times 3. So ito yung 6,000 sa research assistant, statistician yung 3,000, and proofreader yung 5,000 budget na propose ko. Printing 5 pesos. So ilang pages yung nakaraan? So estimated 750 pages. Tapos yung printing of consent, printing of questionnaire. So you also computed it. Kung you want to buy a printer, so ilagay mo dito. So in total, ito yung nagastos ko, pero in reality, sumobra pa ako sa gastos. So this is how, this is the reference where I get the lecture for this research proposal. So any questions?
In timeline, can you review? They're supposed to give a research title lang as the year.
Actually, Doc, na makita title, no? Diretso kita na proposal.
Okay.
Kasi title is for first year lang.
Okay. So, el proposal, nadali to L1, no? Prerequisites for the proposal.
Prerequisite, no? Kasi nisita na man present na department before anything else. So, cause man anything no? The same cause I present is all pa rin kailangan i-present.
So, what's your next step?
Dito
Pass to you, possible, ano?
Asan gini
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, Doc?
Manpas contigo, possible research proposal, cosa
Hindi, mentor. Nauna na mentor, Doc, and the department. And it's their mentor responsibility to review their research proposal.
Okay.
It's not me. Then the
Okay. Guide lang
department
ba yan?
will decide, will judge kung okay na yung research. They will recommend kung ano bang kulang, what are pwede palitan bang research. So the department na yan. So it be presented to the chairman, to the training officers, and to our research consultants, Dr. Pontevida.
Okay.
And
From there, pasa pa na, kasi last time, Dr. Engracia said, within the department, okay sila. Pero at the other end, kaabla si Dr. Ace, pasa syempre na ERB pati na ethics review board pati.
Doc, you cannot have research if wala siyang technical and ethical board review, no? Hindi siya
Pasagat
considered
na Petro.
research. Maskin hindi. Si Chene sila send, pwede kita saka private. Si Kere too. Pero tama na kita pa sa na Petro, pa rin din sila gasta. So,
pasaya na Petro para na gasto.
technical review is 25,000 per review. Kasi you have 5,000, tatlong tao yan, you have to pay. Including yung board and lodging. Tapos ethical review is 25,000 ang charge ng CCMC. Na luckily, they are residents. So importante, all your requirements nandun na sa CCMC and recognize you as a resident. Kung wala kang, if you're not accepted as a resident, you have to pay. So please check your previous documents, no? Ano ang na-submit? Kasi you have may letter ka from Petro, you are now accepted as as residents. Kailangan meron yun sa your portfolio.
Okay.
So, anyone from the body, do you have any questions? Did you understand?
Chene remark si Dr. Anil, pangit reception niya. We'll just give her a copy. Malakas daw ang hangin. And then may another question. How many pages should the normal research proposal, Doc?
It depends kung gaano karami ang ilalagay mo, no? Usually, no, it's only 7 pages, including the title and the purpose.
Naman na ba tumira nantes el template de aquel proposal?
Sí.
Okay. Probably give them a copy of the lecture again.
No.
PowerPoint.
Not all your proposal are funded, but you can ask for funding. So, we will have to talk with DOH or DOST. Depende ano yung research mo. Kung it's all about health, meron yung list of research, no, ng Region 9. You have to check on, ewan ko kung meron pa ako, no? Wait lang, no? I have to look. Parang I remember pala my list of research. The Region 9 wanted to take over muna, Doc Jo. I have to look for the research, no? Mga saan ko nilagay.
Hi, Doc Jo. Hi, Doc Kim.
Yes, Doc.
I remember our department chair once posted in the group chat yung mga topics na
yung Tukel?
Si. Yes, Doc.
So si DOH, no, yung political topic, you can ask it for the DOH. Kung DOST yung political topic, we can propose sa DOST na. Remember, no, it takes about 6 months to 1 year before our proposal will be approved for funding.
Okay, Doc.
So remember, importante na research tool muna ang hanapin nyo. So ngayon, no, pwede tayo case report kung may maganda kayong case report, or you want mga previous research. I-improve nyo lang yung previous research ng mga previous seniors natin, ninyo. Wala pa tayong focus group kung may gusto mag-focus group. Kasi hindi mo na kailangan gumawa ng tools on focus group. It's just a simple questionnaire na based din sa research ng mga seniors, or like Georgia, yung burnout. You like to adapt it in your setting. Pwede rin. You don't need to make a research that save the world, no? You have to make a research para graduating purposes and diplomatic purposes lang muna. So, pero if you're going beyond, why not? It's much better, no? So, if we have I like to to make a little bit on lecture on specific, hindi naman to siya kompleto, but hoping lang so just a review on the training, what are we going to do. So kasi today nadagdagan yung work namin, so the trainee should be responsible for themselves, kasi not most of the time we can guide you because of the search, we are again busy in manning some of the areas given to us. So you should be doing your time management, and it's up to you what are the things you need to be learning, So remember, our training system, most likely sa mga Ateneo graduate, so SDL, alam na talaga, that's 80% of our training is self-directed learning. So yung mga expert lectures ng mga consultant is more on like 10%, while we always do more another 10% attending scientific meetings to improve ourselves. So 99% of the work is yours, and only 1% is for the training facilities. So the training kasi will only evaluate and check for the requirements for you to proceed. So these are the evaluation, Bukad natin, what are we looking at? Anong mga requirements o department requirements, Siyempre, completed required rotation, evaluation of each. 90% is satisfactory. Ideally, research, yung QA, COPC, and advocacy. Kung ito, kaya niya natapusin this year, it's much better kasi already hindi na tayo magproblema for the next ilang years. For ito kasi yung kailangang requirement for the diplomate, Etong COPC, QA, at advocacy and research. So ang hospital requirement is the interdepartmental presentation, research, and recommendation from the department. So ito yung requirement ng hospital for you to graduate. Siyempre yung CFP, important yung case, yung skills. So yung completion, so nagay ko pa dito 3 years, rotation, completion of 3 years rotation. Core curriculum must be completed 90%. Yung oral written examination natin. Ang most important, yung principles of family practice. You have already grasped it. So, and as you graduate and you progress, kasi we still need the continued medical education. It doesn't mean you're already residents. Kailangan pa rin natin yung CME. So, practice-based training, in yung some challenges from the training institution, ang paano ikukuhan the usual, paano natin ikukuhan yung knowledge and skills. The only thing we can do is criticize how you present your cases, and your skills, we can only evaluate it. Pero yung real world scenario, we cannot evaluate clearly. Nandito tayo sa pandemic. So we have to step up, Step up something kasi hindi namin kaya evaluate kayo na kung sa mga skills na kailangan talaga sa hospital na titignan or evaluate. And some knowledge din hindi rin namin ma-check kasi yun lang. We can only let yung general knowledge pero yung other things you want to learn, we cannot contribute to it kasi lahat is still self-directed. So this is what we are trying to do, no? We're trying to create modules, frequent evaluations, frequent monitoring, constantly upgrading. And these are costly in implementations. And for now, you are also learning from the part of the training facility. We are also learning, no? So the problem for now, no, you still have no hands-on experience. Yes, we know na you already experienced in yung like Doc Eric has been clinician for ilang years na, Doc Site. Pero still you have to be evaluated and check na tama na ba yung mga knowledge, things I manage, no. So these are comparison, no, kung ano lang. So the traditional base, ang obligation nila is marami compared to the practice base. Sometimes kind of rotation is questionable and if you attended scientific meeting, so wala rin kami alam kung if you do it. So for now, any scientific meeting you attended, please put it in your portfolio para marama. So ngayon, the problem is, what is your patient OPD management? So yung kailangan natin malaman and you should put it already, no? Kahit wala pa yung format, all your patients, nakita nyo, it's already transcribed sa portfolio, including yung cases. So if you're going to the in-person, syempre, mahirap talaga makuha everything within 3 days. Kahit yung per month, no, rotation for 3 months, mahirap pa rin yan. And even, kasi even yung ibang department, magpa-problema din kasi they will not tutok. Kami gani, I have 3 months of exposure, even 1 month exposure sa mga minor. Ikaw pa rin kasi ang to step up. Sometimes kasi cases hindi man nakukuha sa isang araw. They usually come matagal, paminsan aman, pero some rare cases, rare talaga, so hindi mo siya makikita. So, eto sa kwan pa lang, no, kulang na tayo kung okay lang kayo dito. So, ito yung program na gawa. So, yun lang, no, for the kwan. So, we will not talk about kasi complete pa yan. We're just trying to make up sometimes for it na ano pa talaga kailangan na sa training. So, for now, we will go to the deficiency. So, diba, our life, no? We work at 8 hours. Tama ba to? Personal needs natin is 3 hours. We sleep, say, 8 hours. Family time, siguro, it's more than 15 hours per week. Then, how much are we giving the training? It's only 6 hours per week. So, 24 hours in a day. So, ito yung graph natin sa time natin, no? So, sometimes kasi we have to step up, no? Kasi mahirap din. We do lecturing kasi yung program is still new. So, for the first year, they are already, mayroon na silang process, pero wala pa tayong process on the second year, no? Ano ang kukunin, ano ang mga needed. Kasi we still base kasi sa traditional base ang rotation natin. So, I think we have to step up. We cannot do more lecture kasi ako lang pati si Doc Lisa here attending. So hopefully you can attend all the lectures done by from the additional residents. If not, you have to watch talaga. You have give time talaga watch all the lectures recorded. And kung wala naman siya recorded, you have to inform me so we can ask for slides from the residents yung involved. So if you compare it with the traditional surgery OBIM, so 60% of their time no spent for training, while our traditional spend their entire time in training. So these are the grading system no proposed. Hindi naman siya proposed, we've been doing it. So ito yung mga evaluation we have in the department quiz. So nilagay ko na lang 50%. Kung hindi ka kumuha, remedial is 60. Kung lumampas ng isang buwan, is not completed, you try to so 70%. Kung hindi mo talaga kinuha, so it's up to the training officer to decide. So importante no for the second year, we have already completed all the case and skill requirement by 60%. No? Preferred is 75, at least natapos. So ngayon, because we are already malapit ng kalahati ng taon, so at least no, we have to do a lecture, especially on the family principles. So EBM, I'll try to do a lecture about it next month, kung kaya pa. So practice management, yung CPG, endorsement, mortality review, and public cases should be also lecture. So ito yung schedule pa rin for May. Clinical case, Dr. Cabaya Cruz. Dr. Alsaidil for family case. Dr. Robertson. Dr. Mirna. Ano to? Family case po. Family case pa rin. Family presentation. Family case presentation. So I think meron na kayo itong schedule, no? So remember, no, you have to send us like a day up before presentation para may good critics na. Pero I don't know for this. Depende kasi sa kung exhausted na rin ang mga mentors, or kahit ako exhausted a little bit for doing lectures for now. So you have to step up your no? Dapat kasi na-send na lahat. So if you have lost signal, dapat na-record na siya. It should be recorded and sent to Sam. So ang research proposal dito is still August and September, but you can ask already, no? Hindi na kailangan natin, you don't need to wait sa August and September. Kung ready ka na mag-propose, at least we can hopefully, no? Kasi September yung schedule for technical board review. Sana before, wag na hintayin itong time i-research proposal na. Kasi for me kasi no, which was at least lahat ng requirement bilisan natin. Kung kaya tapusin na. Then for the next year, konti na lang ang i-catch up natin. Si OPC, no, maybe siguro June na to ma-lecture natin. Sa Pampamanto, 4th year pa natin. Pero maganda sana you have already implemented the COPC earlier, at least makikita natin yung changes sa community, kasi family healthcare in a community will not take effect in 3 months time. So this is our proposed schedule for this year. So we're on May. So ang plano natin is ECG. So ang previous niya ay heart clinic, so ni-change lang natin. So wala nang heart clinic ngayon, so most likely ECG. So August, so planning kung di busy, so may ortho, no? Ortho, palliative, psych, tox, and geria. So, July to December is not yet tentative pa lang to, is not yet approved. Itong the rest of the June is already approved. Ang problema, maganda sana ang ENT kung mayroon kayo malalaman nyo, makikita sana yung technique ng mga ENT, how they approach. Yun yung kung pwede nyo pupuntahan dito, no, sa general, if ever, kung okay lang, free na tayo. Kasi iba talaga ang lecture lang, pati yung clinical, nandun talaga nakikita mo paano ang approach nila. So, different talaga. So, 3 days, okay lang to sa 3 days, except ng mga major rotation, di talaga siya magkuha. So, let's go to the kung ano yung deficiency natin. So, ito yung mga deficiency. For context, nakakakuha tayo ng 33 out of 38 score, no? So, nakalagay talaga dito, no? Lahat ng MHO, make an annual report, no? In the format of PA format for uniform lay of data. So, aside from your daily report, you should also send a summary. So, yung sa annual report, yun yung case, nakalagay man later on dito. Dito yan. So, ito pala yun, no? Yung mentor, kailangan daw time, no? You should always have, no, about 1 to 2 hours per week you consult your mentor, no? Please document that. At least, once you document it, as you put it in your portfolio, at least pag may nakita na evaluate, at least nandoon siya. So, yung attendance, pwede picture na lang, lagay mo yung picture, tapos lagay mo yung contact, ano na-discuss nyo on that day. So, ito yung recommendation. So, yung make use of information technology, no, we have already accomplished, Tenant Zoom, we already done it already. For inputs, 41 out of 53. So, ito yung ang nila, findings. So, nakalagay dito, residents are encouraged to lecture at the foundation course. Inpatient care is recommended. Yun yung as additional learning management skill for resident and also once the new normal is applied to CCMC. So, we are now going to a new normal starting May. So, daily na. You have to report every day na. Yun yung bago meron ng MCC. So, ito, supervision, evaluation of residents performance in their area of practice. No? Ito yung nahihirapan tayo. Hindi namin talaga ito ma-evaluate. So, remember, no, all your diagnosis may ICD-10 code nakalagay. So, we are just proposing para yung mga anong kailangan, no? Like yung ginagawa ng mga traditional, there's an endorsement of patients. Tapos yung monthly census, ito yung nakalagay, male, children, male. Adult pala to, adult, children, and elderly, not male. Tapos yung case nyo per month, at least tabulated. Kasi quarterly, hinihingi ito ng PFP. So, other recommendation nila is ER duties to strengthen competence and specialty rotation at OPD with supervision. So, questionable. So, wala tayong still wala kaming answer to it. Processes, ito yung medyo mababa tayo, 57 out of 78. So, nahihanapan tayo ng tabulated schedule of activities. So, ngayon, available, nagawa na ni Doc Pai. Ang problema na lang ay wala kayong case logbook. So, start doing your logbook. Ito yung nila, limited time of hospital duties, 3 days per month. No? So, nakalagay, no common time to meet with other trainees. Ito yung so, for product, so mababa din tayo. It's 80 of 136. Most residents work more on administrative function. Needs more lecture on EBM. Should enhance once the new normal setup is established. So, family meetings, no? Sometimes, kung di na talaga natin magagawa ng family meeting, we do teleconsult na lang, telehealth consult as tools ng family meeting. So, portfolio, no? We have already started the portfolio, so probably accomplished na lang. So, tignan na lang natin kung may laman. These are the recommendations, no? So, we have to review your cases, you have to review skills, and review some achievement. So, didactics, clinical case, resident lecture, consultant lecture, family case. Ito lang yung mga lecture na gagawa natin. So, they are trying to include quality assurance and practice management. Kasi ito yung recommended. So, ito yung score natin, 68.83. So, it is 1-year accreditation. So, hopefully this year we can make it into 3 years para hindi tayo every year mag-accreditation. Nakakapagod din tong trabaho kung yearly kasi hindi tayo makaka-relax. Okay. Open na yung forum. For person, Doc Acevedo, you're here. Doc Pats,
Yes, Doc.
klarong okay signal nyo?
Sa akin, Doc. Doc Acevedo, nandyan ka, Doc, no?
Oh, hindi kayo sabay?
Not, Doc.
Fats, yung wala daw HEPA B na lang. Tapos yung PRC okay na, nakuha
Doc,
mo man yung message ko?
Yung HEPA B ko, Doc, ano ata yun, magkadikit ata yun siya, Doc. HEPA B negative sa taas, HB SAG, tapos titer ata yung sa baba. May kopya ako niyan, Doc, kasi dinouble check niya yun eh.
Okay lang.
Tapos
Isend mo lang yung kopya
natin.
sa akin.
Nanapin ko, Doc. Hindi ko lang kung na-picturean ko.
Yung
Iyan
PRC,
ako lang.
Pats, send mo na lang yung ID. Okay na daw ang ID. Kung
Yung ID, Doc. Hindi na lang yung ano. Sige, Doc.
na
Na-send ko
lang.
na sa'yo, Doc. Na kasama dun sa photocopy.
Na-send mo? Hindi ko, titignan ko lang ulit. Hindi ko na.
Opo, Doc.
Hindi ko pa na.
Naka-attach yun
Sa
siya,
messenger
Doc.
ko?
Hindi, Doc. Sa yung paper na sinabit ko sa'yo, Doc. Yung good standing yung isa, tapos
Hindi,
sa likod niya yung...
Updated yun, no? Updated
Yes, Doc.
yun.
Hanggang
Okay
2021 pa yun, Doc.
Okay na, okay na.
Pero, opo, yes, Doc.
I-check ko lang ulit. Okay na yun. Yun lang. Okay.
Kim, feedback lang. Poor that reception di Eric, di Mirna, pati di Joanne. So let Sam na lang give them a copy of the recording plus the AKEL project to especially AKEL mga requirements. Don't worry mga level 1. Sa level 2 muna ang concentration nito ni Doc Kim. Kasi as I was explaining for those who we have already seen, no, sina Dr. Pats, sa mga city health officers, you don't have to worry about your first year kasi wala pa naman binibigay talaga national what you are required to do. But if ever we have it, then we will post it as soon as possible.
First year, you have to tabulate na yung mga cases already and send it
Cases
already.
and pati procedures.
If you have already cases and procedures, pakilagay na lang sa e-portfolio so at least we can look for it. Madali matignan. At Sam, did you already see the content of your portfolio? Sam, we need hard copy, no? So we can put it into the office for backup of all our accomplishment. We have already printed out some what are the requirements we needed. You have already completed. like January. Yes. You have to print it, so we have backup copies. There's a folder for practice base there. If you want, we can put it in a clear plastic, or so at least we will not miss it if in case if we forgot where it's put. Just ask Sheena. Uh, Doc Joe, you need to see the documents po, Doc Joe, before you. Doon na lang siguro, Sam. So at least we can just text us if you already put the documents there, so
Nabaya
we
si
can
Sam,
so we can review.
Oo. The FYI lang, si Doc Andre Labi sa Bar Mindanao Practice Base Coordinator, I just posted last night again, late na, yung batch 38 na DTTB. They're still talking, there are about 20 that will be divided between Hilarion Ramiro Junior Hospital and ZZMC. That has to be taken up in the meeting dahil I don't know how we will divide ourselves na pull out pa alya na kabatangan, depe man ase pa L1 site visits, and then now we have another 10 to 15 DTTBs batch 2. So, man meeting pa siguro say. We'll see how it's done. Otherwise, there's a lot of yet with what national should be doing. They should be having a meeting already. Okay, lang. Thank you so much, Doc Kim. Yung mga feedback ni Ila lang is ano kayo, pangit reception.
For surgery cases, Doc, yung for now, no, your rotation is OPD. So OPD lang cases muna. Yung surgery, usually yung mga skills. If ever, lang, yung record, kailangan natin yung record, picture ng record, kailangan ng ang consultant mo yung mentor mo. So, yung record, yun yung i-picture mo, yun yung ilagay sa kwan. So, under sa case. So, as we explain, no, yung ang nakalagay na yung kwan doon, for example, circumcision, may folder ang circumcision. So, doon mo ilalagay yung data sa circumcision folder. So, yung record niya, then signature mo. Yun lang, kailangan natin. Then, i-review lang yun ng mentor para siya na yung pipirma kung okay na yung ginawa na. Pero, for cases siya. So, for now, no, lahat ng first year, we would like is your OPD case lang. Lahat ng nakita nyo, picture nyo, ilagay sa portfolio. Then later, we will, yun lang kasing challenges, mahirapan kami sa communication. No? So, the only way we can do it is to look at your portfolio na lang muna. So, because of the search of cases of COVID na pati kami natupull out. So, medyo matotoxic ako for the past.
Ay,
Yes,
Doc Kim,
Doc.
last year. Akil, concerned di ka na, Doc Romel, yung kanya si Ma'am Dabi, okay or next week pa kita sabi?
After graduation. So, May, first, second week de May.
Ansi na. O, sige, andaya lang.
Actually, they have to submit kasi naipa daw yan submit anything. Ang mga requirements.
Oo,
ng
pero
MOA.
ang kanya, MOA, di ka na, Doc.
Alyan MOA, siyempre, naitamin requirements. So,
Okay. O, sige.
So, they have to...
Paano na lang kay Ma'am Dabi sa kwan, pero busy rin sila because of the graduation. I don't know what's the best time. Give them a call first po bago kayo pupunta sa Petro.
Yes, Doc. Sige po, Doc. Pupunta.
Sige pa, Doc.
Kasi ngayong next week po, pupunta po ako mga Friday and schedule po, Doc. Pupunta kami.
Call them up first, Doc, ha? Siguraduhin mo nandun yung in charge kasi medyo
Nawawala.
magulo din sila doon.
Friday, Doc. Wag Friday, Doc, kasi busy sila.
So,
Graduation
Ano?
party.
ano po ang advice ninyo kung anong day po para magpaalam po ako na ha-play ako pa.
Ang maganda kasi, Doc, within Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no? Kasi ito yung mga... So, siguro May na talaga, Doc. Busy sila
May
next week for graduation. So,
May na lang po namin i-schedule.
May nyo na lang schedule.
Sige po, Doc. Thank you po, Doc.
Okay. Anong psych-eval paths? Di ko alam. Hindi. Tanong ko muna, no? Tanong ko muna. Wala ka pang psychiatry evaluation?
For scheduling sana yung last time, Doc, pero parang
Na-cancel?
hindi pa na Doc, kasi nauna yung iba, naubusan for that month. Tapos,
Okay. Actually,
Tas
kung
ngayon,
siya,
Doc,
hindi siya
whole
online.
day.
Hindi siya
Sabi nga
online.
niya.
Whole day kasi siya. Nakakapagod na
Mm.
yan. Actually, 4 hours lang man. Hindi man whole day, 4 hours.
Face-to-face talaga, Doc.
Hindi, tinitingnan nila, observe yung character mo. Kasi part kasi sa evaluation. Yung
Sige,
movement
sige,
mo
Doc.
doon, how you answer. Kasi,
Dapat turuan na sila mag-video rin para magka-evaluate sila mabuti.
hindi, psychiatry eval kasi kailangan nandun talaga siya sa office, tinitingnan nila. Kasi something to do with movement, eye contact, paano yung mga, how you respond to order, part kasi yun sa evaluation ng psychiatry. Hindi man, psychologist. So, nag-blackout si na Doc Eric, no? Paano sa Teara, no? Doc Mike?
Mandaya lang yung recording pati si Sam lang man follow up.
Hindi, pinapakita ko.
Doc?
Hindi lang, hindi lang ste. Mike, diba?
Yes,
We
Doc.
have already March quizzes.
Yes, Doc.
So, kuando ka mo pwede sakal March quizzes? Kasi tiyan kita rehab evaluation. So, na pa yung mga no? Kasi give me time kay medyo yan toxic kami ara. No, pwede man. So,
Ito, Doc. Quando 2 pwede. El rehab eval. El quizzes.
el quizzes.
Dul
Okay na, 8. Si Chena ba schedule ustedes 8?
May 8, Doc, no?
Quizzes. Kung lang sa Google Form niya. Ready ayo.
Sige, Doc. Ma-inform na ko nila, Doc, para na pecha 8.
So, siguro, kuando ba may schedule? Sabado kasi may schedule ara na na duty.
Okay, Doc.
Baka,
Na
siguro,
8, Doc, sa duty 2?
Oo, duty pala yung Sabado. Yes,
Siguro ya ba si duty ay itaya sila?
Siguro ya si
proposal di Doc Fred o
Tema si proposal sa amuya sa duty.
Kanya ya ase kanya ase el schedule.
Siyempre.
Amoy,
Mapibit
Monday to Saturday.
Monday to
Sa
Sunday.
man pasa yung question.
Monday to Sunday.
Site visit diaton.
Ano sabi niya, Doc? Ito ang kwento na chairman.
Anyway, we'll clear that up. Yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
So the topic, no? Okay, Doc Joel, ECG for for May.
Yes, siguro.
Mike, Neil, okay na
Doc?
kayo sa ang topic? SDL na lang muna tayo, no?
Yes, Doc.
Sa ECG, nakarotate na yata kayo sa clinic, di ba?
Di pa, Doc.
May rumors ako
May
marunong
pa kami
daw
ma-rotate, Doc.
Bueno daw si Doc Eric lecture ECG.
Elikal yan. Last time yan, yung lecture. Yung kwan na department.
ECG. Kayo naman yung kaya.
Yes, Doc.
So, lang man lecture ane con ustedes, quiero ustedes, no? Baka hindi Sunday, baka kambya to Sunday lang ang schedule for me. So, si once approve
Sige, Doc.
no? Meeting Tuesday. Kaya ba Tuesday ara? Doc Eric pala. So,
not Tuesdays, Doc Eric. Family cases with Doc, no?
Family case, ha? Remind niyo lang ko nile.
CC.
Debe imbial slide.
Yes, Doc, I will.
One day before para pwede namang tweet it. Kaya ni makita time. So, kung kasi no, Mike, pang-focus kita SDL, kaya naman ustedes ECG book, no?
Yes, Doc.
Pati
Man,
YouTube.
kanya, nakuha.
Oo,
Na pecha orto, posible pa pecha 9. What time tama na pecha 8 or 9?
na
Doc?
pecha 8, may mga problema kay Google Form lang man send lang niya Google Form.
Okay. Sige, Doc.
Through ko lang kita Messenger pero baka di kita man face to man Zoom. Kasi last
Zoom, okay.
contract di atong Zoom Mayo. Baka na matapang Zoom.
Sige. Okay. Okay, Doc.
Tapos pero pa yung si Pakilaya sa di ila Zoom ara. Problema kita ra Zoom kay end of contract kita may. So Google
Quanto ka Zoom, Doc?
7,000 per year, annual.
Okay, Doc.
Tapi kura pa kay no pwede kasi kay credit card kasi Zoom. Hindi ta entra na budget.
Sige, Doc.
May ko si retailer. Okay. So, you intended sa lecture, Mike? You intended to?
Yes, Doc. Actually, okay. Ako lang, Doc. Pensa gala yung tormento. Pero, busca lang yung tool, Doc. Alyalay man, staba na tools, busca title.
Si.
Parang di ang problema.
Amo ka na technique niya. Pasing ko sa tool.
Gali.
Baka kaya, mga otro research dahil mga seniors, baka kaya ustedes usa, man-recycle lang, pwede lang tamang kaya. Basta, dyan lang nuevo innovation.
Yes, Doc. Sige, Doc.
Si Neil. Neil? Okay, Nema.
Maling kita mo signal, Kiara.
Ayun, yung
Okay. Sige, Neil. Okay ka. Ano ba yung question mo? Ano yung sabi mo? Okay. Sige na lang. Wala talaga. Choppy talaga, Neil. Ikuha mo na lang sa messenger para messenger na lang para makuha na masagot. Si Doc Joanne, okay na Doc Jo?
Yes, Doc. Thinking of what I'm going to do for research.
Okay. Sige. So, question sa messenger na lang. Kay medyo choppy-choppy tayo, no?
Sige,
Kasi,
Doc. Sige, Doc. Kung may inquiry kami sa message.
Sige.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay. So, Rehab, no, we'll just pause na lang kung kailan ako ready. Okay. So, topic ECG, ha? Sa SDL na lang. Please read.
Kim, si Chene orientation de la Kabatangan, text me para kasi may pamangko sa abla.
Hindi, todo kita, Kel. Hindi lang todo kita anda orientation.
Ano
Hindi
yan
lang
nga,
kami.